Thank you, Marvin and Larry, and thank you all. We're privileged to have with us our two ambassadors, the ambassador of Israel to the United States, Ron Dermer, and the ambassador of the United States to Israel, Ron Shapiro, my colleague, Minister of Tourism, Uzi Landau, and many in my delegation, but one person in my delegation brought me here for the very first time, and he's been an extraordinary friend of the State of Israel and my own friend. And I want you to acknowledge Merv Adelson, who's here. A great Jewish patriot, and a great mensch is the way I would describe you. And I think in all the turbulence that we go through, ultimately we're tested as human beings. Glory of public life is fleeting. Fame is fleeting, and what we really leave behind are our deeds. What do we do about the circumstances that we find ourselves in order to leave a better world for our children and our grandchildren and our people? The Jewish people have undergone a trauma like no other. It began in many ways with a letter that I was shown just a few minutes ago. A letter of intent, you might call it. And the intent is to liquidate the Jewish people, stated clearly in a letter from 1919. It wasn't believed. It was discounted as rantings for internal consumption. It turned out to be very different. Of course, it was accompanied by continual deception. There was a clear mission to the faithful, that is the annihilation of the Jews, but for public consumption and for specific external audiences, that message was modulated. It was even modulated for Jews, but the intent was there, as was the deception. Now, we have paid a terrible price for the fact that the leading powers of the world did not heed that warning, nor did they act on that warning. As it turned out, the price wasn't only to our people, whom proportionately paid the greatest price of all, but it was a price that cost the lives of 50 million people, and a convulsion in the world, and a blow to the peace of the world like no other. Today we're in a different situation because we have a Jewish state. We have someone to act on behalf of the Jewish people. This is our responsibility to protect the Jewish people, to defend them. But defending them begins by calling it like it is, pointing to such intentions, and showing, also exposing the deceit. There is a regime today that calls daily for our annihilation. Openly, unabashedly, they call for the annihilation of the Jewish state. I think it's outrageous that 70 years after the Holocaust, this could be accepted with virtual silence. People say, well, they say it, they mean it for internal consumption. Does this sound familiar? But we've already been there, done that. So first of all, we take them seriously. Our principal lesson in history is that when somebody says that they're going to annihilate you, take them seriously. And prepare. And warn. And make an issue of it. Because the mere statement, the mere brazen approach that says, I can call for the liquidation of the Jewish state, and people don't get excited about it, means that that goal entrenches and re-entrenches itself in the minds of these fanatics and they think they can get away with it. The second point is to expose their deception, because while they say that in Tehran, and while they say that to specific audiences, they're also putting on the smiling faces right now. But internally, where it counts, they continue to talk about the liquidation of the Jewish state, and they continue to act for the liquidation of the Jewish state. Because aside and while they're building weapons of mass destruction, that is atomic bombs to carry out their designs, they're also sending other weapons of destruction. That they're doing in a clandestine way. We've just caught a ship that Iran was trying to sneak in to the Sudan, loaded with dozens of lethal missiles, the kind that Hamas does not have. This was to go up the Nile Valley into the Sinai and then into Gaza. Well, we found it. It's an Iranian ship. And now, the government of Iran is saying it's all lies. It's all lies. Well, that ship will get to Eilat in a few days. And we shall see who is lying. And we shall expose what Iran is really doing. Building the weapons of mass death and dispatching the weapons of immediate death right now to the worst terrorist groups in the world. That's the true face of Iran. And if there's something that I can say here at the Museum of Tolerance, we cannot be tolerant to the intolerant. We cannot be tolerant to the fanatics. We want a world of acceptance of others. We want a world of compassion. We want a world of humanity and humanism. These are the two things that I would say. And these people are out to destroy a section of humanity called the Jewish people. We will not let them. We will expose them, and we shall fight them. And I'll tell you the other thing, we shall beat them. Thank you very much.